Thank you for reminding me. Welcome to today's meeting. It's going to be extraordinary, like all of our meetings, I should say. And we're having a guest from Europe, from Oliver from Austria. So I'm looking forward to a fascinating presentation. Sheila just mentioned last Saturday's class, and I agree. It was not only an outstanding class, but it covered so many features in such great detail that I feel sorry for those members who did not sign up for those classes. They truly missed something great. But I do like, because our class program just started and we have 3 classes behind us, just talk for a couple of minutes on our class program. You all know that we are a very vibrant organization. We have 42 weekly meetings during the year, and we have 10 classes at the beginning of each year. High tech that we try to cover is constantly moving ahead, sometimes in spurts. I think artificial intelligence is accelerating this evolution. And Naples MUG offers great and comprehensive coverage of this process. We post the videos of meetings and classes on our website. We offer detailed discussions on our message board. And so I think we are doing as good as we can for our membership to keep them informed. And the classes, we have 3 behind us. The class registration this year has been very good. We have roughly 550 members, and 65 of them have registered, have signed up for all classes. So that's I think, a very good number. During the first 2 classes, we had more than 100 registrants, and for our budgetary reason, we'd like to attract 100 registrants per class. And I think the level of our classes, while you always think it cannot be elevated anymore, we have to admit this year they're even better than last year. And not only the quality of the subject, the features that we covered, I think our instructors and our presenters are also growing as our technology evolves. However, that's why I'm making all these comments here. There seems to be a drop in class registration. And while I'm looking for the reasons, it could be that people try to find answers through artificial intelligence, or they study YouTube and so forth. And they are, without any question, they are great resources. However, they really, truly cannot replace our classes with our comprehensive interaction and our copious notes. I want to remind you that our instructors are so thorough, and the new features are so well demonstrated in great detail that I urge you to look at our class program, maybe even during this meeting or right after it, and go ahead and register for the remaining classes. Thank you very much. And now I pass the baton on to Mike. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Eckhart. Let me just share my screen. As usual, I have a small number of notices, very small number of notices to make before we pass the meeting over to Oliver. And they're really all about the class season. And Eckhart has really just said everything that I wanted to say, but just that next Saturday's class, we depart from focusing on operating systems and moved to Apple applications. And the first of those is numbers. And Dan is making this presentation. I don't doubt it will be amazing. I'm assured that it doesn't matter where you consider your skill set to be with numbers. Dan will be applying all the attention that a beginner might need, but he will also be throwing in some incredible hints, tips and stuff, even for really experienced users. So no matter what level of experience you have, do come along. I learned so much. I wanted to add, while you were talking about last week's meeting, that I don't do this very often, but my office is on the first floor of the house. And the moment that the iPad OS meeting finished, I dashed downstairs and was driving everybody completely nuts, going, look, you can do this. And that's kind of the level of excitement and interest really that we see in these classes. So as Eckhart just said, do join us. Guarantee that you'll learn stuff. And that's it for the moment. I'll have more notices at the end of the meeting, but for the moment, let me just stop my share and pass the meeting over to Sheeta, who will just talk about questions and then introduce Oliver. Thanks very much, Sheeta. All yours.
Thank you very much. Everyone, please, Oliver wants lots and lots and lots of questions. So if you can kindly put your questions in the chat, we'll get to them at the appropriate time. And without further ado, we're going to hand it over to Oliver so that he can give us a demonstration of this wonderful software. Oliver, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. And the screen is all yours.
As always, it's a pleasure to join you. Thank you for inviting me again. Apparently, my last presentation for the mimoCalls wasn't that bad. This time, I'm going to talk about mimoLive, which is our other big product. And the idea for the product is the genesis story, if you like to call it that, is my brother Achim and I, when we were little kids, we were fascinated by television shows in the television. That's a couple of years ago, so we still had like an old tube TV in the living room, and my parents had a lot of electronics in the house. So what we did is we went to the basement, took out all the machines that were there that didn't have to do anything with live video production or video at all. Took them to the living room and built a studio, and we set up microphones and cables and lighting and things like that, and then we pretended to produce our own television show. So the idea that it would be great to be able to produce a television show in your living room was always there, and a couple of years ago, in 2009, that's already 15 years ago now. Wow, time flies. We set out to create a software that exactly is for this purpose, allows people to create a television studio in their living room using inexpensive hardware, inexpensive cameras, basically, so that everyone can make their own TV show. And in these times and ages, platforms like YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and what have you allow you to live stream stuff from. I'm getting a message that I should confirm my language is English. I hope I'm not talking nonsense because it's interesting that the AI is confused about my language, but let's stick with this. We're creating the software, and now you can stream to all those platforms, and you can really make that a reality. I don't know, Wayne's World was a big movie back in my time, and that kind of feeling, yeah, you can reach anybody in the world from your living room. That's kind of what drives mimoLive. Of course, it's a very powerful software. You could think of it like, the big broadcast trucks that the broadcasters bring to the NFL games and things like that. Basically, mimoLive can do everything that's in such a truck, and that it runs on a Mac Mini M4. And you can use maybe like 3-4 cameras, and add all kinds of graphics and effects and do that and live stream to all the platforms that you want to record to disk, so you can record a podcast, a video podcast with it, and so on and so forth. You can bring in people via Zoom, and I'm going to show that maybe later on. So I'm running one podcast production on a cloud-based Mac Mini M4 for my better half, and she calls in via Zoom, and her guest calls in via Zoom, and I'm able to produce the whole show remotely from anywhere in the world, which is basically what I had to do already because I was traveling while she was doing it. So a lot of things to do with mimoLive. I thought I wouldn't do like a demo of the user interface because the user interface can be quite daunting. You need to spend some time getting acquainted with it. But that's what very powerful software is for. I thought I'd show you some of the tricks we can do with mimoLive. For example, you see here my video is coming in from my camera, which is an NDI camera. If you haven't heard of NDI yet, it's basically the same thing as HDMI or SDI, which are the cables that cameras use today to output the video into the TV or wherever you want them, or the mixer and the ATEM, whatever you know. NDI is the same thing, just based on network technology. So we don't need a capture card. We don't need like an ATEM switcher. We just can use the camera in mimoLive and then just have 5 cameras on the network, and then we can access all the cameras and control them and do our thing without having to add extra hardware to the Mac. So it all just works over the network interface. So that's why I'm a big fan of NDI, because we don't need external hardware to capture video, except for the camera, of course, but we don't need like an ATEM switcher or a capture card or whatever. We can just use the camera and NDI directly in mimoLive. So you see the camera here and you see me, and then I can do some fun stuff. I can add any filters. For example, I can, if I have a guest that doesn't want to be recognized, I can turn on a anonymizer thing. Yeah, there was a question, Cheetah.
No, I was just making sure that you were just showing you. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just showing me,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna build it up. So
Okay, good. All right, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. I'm just going to show you the effect, because the user interface you're not gonna see. It's very tiny little buttons that I press somewhere, so you're not gonna have something. I'll show you the result that you can achieve.
Okay.
So we can do some color correction, or chroma or color lookup tables. If you're into cameras, you might know that. So this is like the sepia tone color filter. So I'm now just one monochromatic is the name for this, and the sepia is basically what old film material looks like. I can what can I do? What's the next thing? Okay, face tracking. So you might know face tracking is now built into like the cameras in the Mac. Oh, where's that? Why is this happening? Let me see. Let me just switch to the other camera then. So face tracking is now part of macOS. So if you use the built-in camera, it will follow your face. But if you have a camera like mine that doesn't do that, I can just turn it on in mimoLive, and then just it will just keep my face in the center of the screen and move the background, things like that. Pretty basic stuff. Let's see. We can do masks and overlays, cut out the image with a mask. And we can do some more spooky stuff, like turning everything into the matrix filter. Or my favorite one is, let me see, city lights. I like that as well. And the neon, where's the